Well, hello, I'm Mike Festiva. Welcome back. Hey, this spring we're coming up on 5 years of me having a little Suzuki Carry Japanese Kei Truck. People call them mini trucks on my channel here. So it's not all been fun and games. Well, wait a minute. It's been mostly all fun and games with the mini truck. But when I first got it, it needed a whole bunch of work done. So we're going to go over some of the stuff I had to do to the machine and talk about the progression. And once we got it reliable, how we started using it more for camping. The progression of that is wet weather out in Washington, building a camper for it and camping, a bunch of camping trips. So stick around, enjoy the video. So when I first bought this truck, it had all the bodywork done, all Rhino-line paint and everything, but it had a lot of run issues. It revved at like 4,000 RPMs. That was the idle. So I went through, tore out the carb, went through it a bunch of times, ended up finally just replacing the carb with a non-water choke style carb, just a manual cable pull choke. That was a lot better redialed than the jetting. Found a whole bunch of vacuum lines that were issues. Replaced a bunch of vacuum lines, deleted a bunch. The cooling system was absolutely shot. So I went through, resoldered the radiator a few times, had to put a water pump timing belt in it because it was leaking like a sieve. Truck had a pile of problems. Ended up going through doing all the silicone cooling lines, thermostat, all that stuff. Finally got the truck fairly reliable. It was loud as hell too. The previous owner put a really loud exhaust, so I ended up going through and putting a little motorcycle, I think it was off of some type of Yamaha WR250 exhaust on it, rebent my own exhaust system. Worked great for it, so just slowly trying to work through the teething of trying to get this machine reliable without having lines blow off in the cooling system and all that stuff, but finally got the truck fairly reliable to start taking out on trips. Maiden voyage here to town. It's probably about a 12-mile trip each way, and I tried to go on this trip actually to the gas station last week and blew a heater hose, and since then I made it to the gas station, which is about halfway to town, so we'll see if we can push it today. It's kind of interesting. I haven't had a vehicle in years where I had to really worry about if it was going to break down on me or not. I've had a lot of vehicles in the past like that, but it has not been for like 15 years or more, so we'll see how it does today. Kind of funny looking back at this footage, checking out all these videos I made of the truck, because now I got about 9,000 to 10,000 miles. I pulled off these big goofy tires. They look kind of cool on there, but they really robbed a lot of power, and they rubbed on the fenders and everything. They're just cumbersome. And I ended up finding a really good mud terrain tire that I've been happy with. And I've actually gone through one entire set of the 4CM mud terrain tires. So I think I put about 9,000 to 10,000 miles on the truck so far. And it's been pretty trouble-free since I got it, finally, all the kinks worked out of it. But that's what you get when you buy a 30-some-year-old mini truck that's been neglected in Japan for most of its life. So once I got all the tune-up stuff taken care of, I got my regular tires on here. They're oversized. They're on 13-inch rims rather than 12, but the truck has plenty of power to push it down the road, at least on level ground at 60 miles an hour. Since then, my brother, he got really pretty excited about my mini truck, and he went out and found a Honda. We went down and picked that up for him in Oregon, and he's got a little Honda Acti Attack, all-wheel drive with low-range first and reverse on it, and a differential lock in this one as well. Well, that's another thing I forgot to mention. The truck that I bought is supposed to have had a differential lock, and it didn't really, so I ended up swapping in a different rear end in that thing. Had some vacuum line issues to set up the differential lock. I had to kind of bypass a lot of the vacuum actuators on the truck because it's 35 years old. Some of those things were going out, but you can see I've used the truck for hauling firewood, all kinds of different stuff, and eventually end up building campers for these things just because they're pretty useful around the house, hauling firewood, hauling beams, things like that. Fun out in the snow, tools, things like that. But finally, after getting out on a few camping trips with them, going into the fall, we're like, we got to build some campers for these things. That's a must. So as we finally got the trucks more reliable, got better tires on them, trucks didn't make much power when we got them. We had to do some timing, a bunch of tune-up stuff to them. Like I said, we worked out the biggest tire combo mud terrain tire that I could find. The trucks would push down the road because, yeah, you can put some big-ass tires on the trucks. They look kind of cool, but if they don't function and go over 45 to 50, there's no way you're going to be hauling a camper on the back because those campers are not the most aerodynamic and they don't work the best if you're really loading them down with a ton of weight when you're trying to pull up hills. So working out these things, having fun with the trucks, taking them on day trips. Did a little bit of overnight camping trips. The next little shot, we'll go into one of our first trips that we did with the trucks. It was a nice fall day. Load up the mini trucks and went out on a camping trip. But after that, we're like, man, rain's coming. We got to get some campers for these things. So we had one of the nicest falls that I can really remember, really warm and dry. So we figured we might as well load up some camping gear, take full advantage of this extended summer that we're having and go camping. Like I said there, we're going to take full advantage of this late October, beautiful sunny day. We don't get much of these out in Western Washington. So packed up the camping gear. This is before we built our campers and took out the mini bikes, had a lot of fun. Keep in mind, I got 15, maybe 16 different videos on my channel covering mini truck maintenance to camping trips. Lots of fun stuff like that. I'm going to put a playlist down below. I'm also going to link to my brother. He's got the Honda here. He's got Olympic Overland. That's his channel. He's got a bunch of mini truck content on his channel as well. So check out those playlists down below. Definitely recommend it. And you're going to probably find hours of good content on these mini trucks here. This is around when my brother and I got these mini bikes, these Coleman mini bikes, and it didn't take long before I started tricking out and putting different engines on them and hopping them up quite a bit, high compression, big carbs, high flowing exhaust, lots of stuff like that. And man, we had a blast, but those things are brutal on your back. I got a messed up back, and I finally had to get rid of my mini bike. It was just too hard on my back. Well, how'd you sleep last night, man?
All right.
Even though it didn't rain,
It's still pretty wet.
stuff's still pretty damp. Lot to do. Heard some critters across the river playing around last night. I don't know, they're swimming, some type of little mammal in the water. I don't know, otter or something. Like I mentioned before, finally got the trucks reliable enough to take them on a few 100-mile camping trip like this, but we were pushing it being late fall. Rain's bound to come in Western Washington and snow, mostly a lot of rain. And just enjoyed the rest of the sunny weather we had, but we had plans after that to build some mini truck campers. So we started working on some camper plans over the fall. And one interesting thing about the job I work at, they shut down for a few weeks around Christmas time. So we utilized that, went into one of the warehouses. I don't know if too many people knew we were utilizing the space, but it was dry. Me and my brother spent about 2 weeks when the shop was shut down and built some campers in there. Nice, warm, dry. We even had snow on the ground at that moment, so it was really nice. I don't have a space like this to work in, so it was cool. We utilized that to the fullest, built those campers there, and we're good to go for the rainy season because out in Western Washington, we get some snow, but mostly it's just a downpour rain almost all winter. So to keep these mini truck campers going and doing some wintertime camping, these enclosed structures were key, and watertight was the name of the game. We built these things as sealed as we possibly could to keep the rain out. Got to the dirt road area we're gonna head out on, and it's pretty wet. Got some snacks, got some beverages, got some warm campers. Trucks are running tip top.
I don't know why they're running so good. The weather got shitty and they just started purring like kittens.
All right, here we go. Heading that way and up into the mountains. This first camping trip, we took off in the evening and it was pouring down rain to test out these campers. Went up in the mountains and they did flawless. No problems. Heater worked great and camper stayed dry, so can't complain. Here's the camper, real basic. Still got a lot of work to do in here. Got some lighting in here, got a little power station, pretty simple for charging camera gear, cell phones and things like that. Stayed super toasty last night, a little 2 kilowatt diesel heater. So here's the 2 kilowatt heater. Put 2 hatches in the bunk so you can get the stuff. There it is. So the trucks with the little campers are definitely proven to be pretty capable. How many RVs are you going to see climbing up through stuff like that? Not too many. Plus they're compact and they get down some pretty narrow roadways. This evening we found a good spot, cooked some good food, relaxed, watched the clouds roll over the mountaintops, and just relaxed. It's kind of what it's all about. Good times. So just kind of enjoying this quiet time this morning. It's about 7:30. Looking at the snowy peaks. Awesome view right outside the window here. Nice spot. Basically built these campers to get off the beaten path more. I'm pretty used to backpacking and kayak camping and camping off of motorcycles where you can kind of get out there a little further. Built these things because we use the trucks all the time. You know, I use mine for hauling garbage to the transfer station and firewood around my property. The trucks are so narrow you couldn't get even a small Toyota around the trails on my property. So this thing is a workhorse for that and hauling lumber and tools around. But wanted to make it where you could slide this camper in the back and use it for single person camping. I've taken my son out camping in it before as well. He likes that. And you know, we're down a little tiny road that's like so grown in that basically you can get the mini trucks in here or a side-by-side or a quad, but that's about it. Packed the trucks up to head up to the mountains, get in some late winter snow, and those little 2 kilowatt heaters still prove to cook you out of that little camper, no problem. Windows open all night, it's still too hot. You all loaded up?
Ready.
Head out west?
Yeah.
This has been pretty rough spring, really cold so far and kind of rainy, and this is the first weekend we're actually getting some warm weather. But if we go out west, we get another almost 10 degrees warmer. So we're heading out that direction and probably end the evening by the beach. So we'll have a good time.
Nicest day of the year so far.
Yeah. Hopefully it stays that way.
Michael's finding lunch.
looking good.
There'll be many more fish here. Oh, you guys can see I got a little one there on the line. A little hard to land them here with the car rod.
Timing was right. Finally a nice day on the weekend, early spring. Had to utilize it to the fullest. Met up with a friend, got out, did a little bit of fishing, hiked the trail down to the beach, enjoyed cooking those clams on an open fire, watching the sunset. Just a really nice night, beautiful spring day. Fortunately, the next morning it was like overcast and 50 degrees, so makes this day even better that we got out and enjoyed it to the fullest. Solo trip, want to enjoy the end of summer here. My brother was busy and a few other friends, they couldn't come along, so enjoyed getting out, cooking some good food. Sometimes it's nice to go solo, be in your own timeline, be able to cook what you want, and I don't know. It was a little fishing trip, got completely skunked on the fishing, but did find some chanterelles, but something to be nice to just be out there in nature, enjoy it all, and if friends want to come along, that's cool, but if not, still a beautiful spot to be.
Gas up the dinner a little bit. Pull out a slice of this Swiss. We'll melt that on top here. The road looks pretty messed up here. It's much skinnier. There's a big drop off. Definitely don't want to end up down there. Trail leading off here, another camp spot. This might be it. Got a fire ring right here. Great level spot to park the mini camper. Man, you could just tell the snow just melted out recently. There's only just a little bit of green growth up here, and there it is. Just a little pond. When I'm backpacking, I don't get to eat this good. Usually those awful freeze-dried meals, but you're out 5-6 days camping up in the mountains. You want to keep all your stuff light. Nice when you're out here getting a bigger stove and fridge, all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is deluxe for me here.
So this trip was late fall, early winter. It was after a bunch of rain and windstorms, so there's definitely some trees to cut out. Saw some nice elk along the way. Rain gear was a must on this trip. I brought a little e-saw, and it wasn't quite up to the task for cutting some of this stuff, so kind of limited where I could go. Also had pretty bald mud terrain tires at this point. By this point, I actually put enough miles on it to wear those things down. So after this trip, I bought a new set of mud terrain tires for the truck. It was a good trip. If you guys see that Andy hasn't been the last few, life happens. Sometimes he can't come along, but he actually hit a deer last summer in his mini truck, and he's fine, but it dented the front end. The truck actually came out really well, didn't smash up the radiator or anything, just dented in some kind of cosmetic things, but he got around to pulling some dents. I've been trying to encourage him to finish it up, and hopefully soon he can get his truck finished up and we can start taking him out camping again.
Let's cook up some food. We gotta make this thing a little more habitable. It's a little bit of a train wreck here. Okay. It's a heavy slab of burger. I think it was a half a pound.
Yep, The rain's definitely picking back up again out there, so I think I'm just gonna hang out for a little while, enjoy the silence, hear the rain, look outside, enjoy some coffee. So this trip was it. I finally ordered an awning after this one because it was so damn wet. I spent a lot of time inside my camper, and the awning's gonna take care of it, where you can hang out outside, have a little fire, and enjoy even a rainy trip.
Definitely should have brought my hip waders.
So this was one of the last trips I've done with my little mini camper. It was a great little trip, solo again. Went out on some back roads, exploring, did a little bit of fishing, did some camping, cooked some good food, had a great time. I expected to be out doing more of these things. Well, life got in the way, got busy with things, family, projects, trying to finish that little camper that I was building on a trailer, things like that, just a push. But this one was kind of a neat trip because I found a abandoned campground, which is pretty cool. You'll be able to check out the whole video down below in the link. But that was pretty neat to come across that. Picnic tables, campsite numbers. Yeah, great fire ring to cook food on. So that was a cool trip. But one of the other reasons I haven't really been using my mini truck since was I parked it for part of the summer, went back, started it up, or at least tried to, wouldn't start. So I was dealing with fuel pump not turning on, fuel pump issues, dug around the wiring, finally figured it out. So I was going through re-editing these videos to kind of share this with you guys and let you know that I'm not done with mini truck camping trips. Hopefully we can get Andy's trucks fixed up pretty soon, but I got mine figured out the other day. I put a new electric fuel pump in it, and I'm going to keep another one as just a backup for going out here, because just out in the woods a long ways, don't want to have something like that fail.
That is ridiculous.
So just want to put this culvert in perspective. This is the creek that's flowing through it. Must flow a lot in the winter. There's the culvert. There's the mini truck. You could probably fit 5 mini trucks in the opening of that thing and still have space.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I recommend going down below on the playlist and clicking on those, because each of these episodes is just small edits from them. They're like 20 to 30 minute long videos. Lots of cool views, lots of Kei Truck content, and good cooking as well. Hopefully in the near future, we'll get another video out here really soon, the next few weeks. But also hoping to try to get my brother's truck going so he can go out too, so they're not always solo trips. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, swipe to the side, hype the video if you can. That can help. Leave a comment down below, and go ahead and check out those other videos in the description below, because it definitely helped me out, get some more views on some of them. So till next time, hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Goodbye.